We face two fundamental problems in society right now. One of them is incredible polarization of the conversations, the discourse that makes society run, the values that underpin how we understand each other. The second fundamental problem we have is runaway inequity. We have a massive wealth divide that's been going on since the 1980s, where African American homeownership in America is actually falling consistently ever since 1984. So that's the world in which we live. DE&I is our fundamental ability to answer that, because foundationally we have to change the way our students think about their moral responsibility and have the ethical tools to take that moral responsibility and translate it into the kind of innovation we need. So with DE&I, we face the possibility that our students, the leaders of tomorrow, can understand morally how to make the world a more just place, and then understand how to do ethical tool design in a way that whatever they work on in life, whether it's entrepreneurship or software, social media, journalism, can be a tool that they use to actually bend the arc of the world toward a more just place, which unfortunately is not what we have been seeing recently. One of the most incredible things about Winchester Thurston that I've been proud of as a parent, watching two children go through middle school and high school here, is the way in which the electives take issues of inequity and injustice head on. I think in many schools they're afraid, honestly, to go to a place where you might have a liberal conservative gap born in your classroom. Whereas at Winchester Thurston, I see wonderful, informed, polite debates between every perspective in the classroom on the issues that are so critical to the future of our society. It's funny, my research is in the area of ethics and technology, and we call technology boundary science. Boundary science because the boundary of what is technology and how technology influences society changes every week, if not every year. DE&I is the same. It is actually boundary sociology, and the reason for that is our understanding of the definitional terms and our understanding of the justice that is conveyed of every person through equity and justice. That changes for us too as a society. And because of that, what's critical is that you can never rest on your laurels with a pattern of work that you believe is the right pattern. There is no right pattern. You're ever changing, you're dynamic to society. And that's something that I find very effective at Winchester Thurston, is the fact that the teachers here are in a constant conversation with the board, with the administrators, and with the students, trying to understand and ascertain the ways in which that boundary is constantly shifting and how they can adapt to that in the classroom and outside the classroom in all of the outside activities that we engage in here. So to me, fundamentally, it's about shifting boundaries and about the recognition that the only way to deal with that is to talk to each other constantly. The board's responsibility is always going to be strategic, not tactical. And that means what the board has to think about is the identity of the school over the course of years and decades. And so DE&I is an important part of what the board talks about, because we need to understand how we distinguish ourselves from our colleague universities, colleague schools, and from our colleague institutions that are anchor institutions in general, to make sure we can be a thought leader in how the identity of the school both adapts to and conforms to DE&I expectations over time. So the board thinks about that long term. That means thinking about the positions you need in the staff to make that possible. It means thinking about the incentive structures and motivations for faculty to be able to do the right thing, the things that they want to do in this space. And it means that fundamentally the tactical decisions need to rest with the administration that is making every day-to-day decision, that's meeting the students on the ground, trying to deal with challenges that come up, trying to deal with desires and questions and propositions put forth by the student body. And in a way, the board's most important responsibility is to get out of the way and ensure that they allow the administration the room to do the right thing in a very fluid and responsive basis.